FM News. On point.
Here's a look at the news. Chief Justice Alfonso Dolo has reminded Ugandans that the right to life supersedes all other rights in the case of pandemics, giving a keynote address at the launch of the special issue journal on COVID-19 and freedom of expression, assembly and access to information by Human Rights and Peace Center today in Kampala. Dolo asked Ugandans to front saving lives ahead of other rights. However, he disagrees with the way authorities have enforced COVID-19 restrictions.
And I think that's the purpose of deterrence, is the purpose of prevention. Once we accept this, in my very well-considered view, my humble view, once we accept this, then we should now focus on what we see in our country always. People being clobbered, people being shot at. It is nothing, it's not about freedom of association. It is about, are the restrictions being justifiably enforced? That's the issue we have. That we must accept these restrictions, and we might not go down to this issue of which are really. So to me, it is inconsequential how we came to these regulations. The issue is, do these regulations save lives? If they do, then regulations must be enforced.
Buganda Road Court has transferred to Tororo Magistrates Court the hearing of a case in which Pastor Siraje Semanda is accused of defrauding believers of 4 billion shillings under the pretext of getting them jobs and scholarships from State House. The file, before being transferred to Tororo, was ordered by Magistrate Gladys Kamasanyu, who has been handling the case at Buganda Road Court. Kamasanyu's rule, since most of the money was collected from Tororo and most of the witnesses reside there, it will be easy for them to attend court in Tororo once the case comes up for hearing, hence ordering that the file be transferred. Pastor Samanda, the founder of Revival Church Bombo, is facing 16 counts all related to fraud. It is alleged that in February 2018, at various Pentecostal churches and schools in Tororo, with intent to defraud he obtained 82.5 million shillings from Geoffrey Owora, pastor and coordinator of all the Pentecostal churches in Tororo, pretending that he was to give half bursaries to students, help build churches, and give a faithful startup capital for business. Prosecution further alleges that he defrauded other people of millions of shillings while telling them the same. Pastor Samanda will now appear before Tororo Court on December 21st to plead the charges afresh. The Alliance for National Transformation presidential candidate Mugisha Muntu has promised the people of Teso Tab region that his government will stop UPDF operations on Lake Choga if voted into office. Muntu says just like other fishermen on Lake Victoria, he has received complaints of the army is brutalizing fishermen on the lake. Muntu says the UPDF is supposed to fight external forces and should never have been used to enforce order on the lakes. He said this at the start of his campaigns in the Teso sub-region.
We want to have discipline in all law enforcement agencies. In the first place, the army shouldn't even be involved in that kind of work. There should be a police force, or like there is UWA, the Wildlife Authority, which has got a law enforcement force under it. Even for the lake, that can be created. The army is for fighting wars, with enemies who are armed. The army shouldn't be used in enforcing, law and order.
In sports news, KCCA forward Brian Ahewa has scored 4 goals to help his side thump onto Paraka Football Club by 8-0 in Uganda Premier League game played this evening at the Amondi Stadium. Ahewa, who joined the Kasasiro boys from Bara City, scored 2 goals in each half of the game and set up 2 goals for Sam Senyonjo. Senyonjo also scored hat-trick for the 13th-time Uganda Premier League, while Habert Achai scored the other goal. KCCA coach Mike Mutebi hails the performance of his side.
Got the chances, we would have even scored more. We scored they got the chances. Our center forwards are scoring, which is very, very pleasing, And I think it was a very good performance from the lads. They played well. They were in command from word go.
Elsewhere, Bull Football Club has defeated Busoga 3-1 in Eastern Derby at the Njuru Technical Centre. Wakis and Chetme ended in a 2-all draw. URA and Bright Stars ended goalless, while Police beat MYDA by 3-1. In other news this evening, the Ethiopian government has confirmed that soldiers shot at a United Nations team which was driving in the north of the country where the army has been fighting Tigray forces. A spokesman blamed the UN staff, saying they were not supposed to be in the area. He accused them of driving straight through 2 checkpoints before they were detained. The UN is yet to comment on Sunday's incident. The team was reportedly trying to reach a camp for Eritrean refugees. There are fears that some have been caught up in the conflict and reports that refugees have been forced onto trucks and back to Eritrea. And that was the news.
XFM News on point.